everyone. Good evening. I hope all of you are doing brilliantly well. I, Swaima Ahmed, take this opportunity to welcome each one of you to a live episode on how to deliver a great TEDx talk. Now, to begin with, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's understand that this series, these episodes presented to you by PSTV Live, actually aim at empowering you with all the ingredients, with all the tools and protocols that you need to know about a TEDx talk. Now, I generally hear people ask $1 million question, and that is what exactly is the difference between a speech, a presentation, a lecture, and a TEDx talk? Let's understand that basically a speech is a short speech, probably 5 minutes, seven minutes, or maximum 10 minutes long. You don't generally have a visual aid or a prop or a presentation along with a speech, right? It's generally written by the speaker himself, or maybe you have a speech writer writing a speech for you. On the other hand, ladies and gentlemen, a presentation basically is very formal in nature. It's generally longer than 5 or 7 minutes. It's maybe 17 minutes long or 20 minutes long. And it's generally about business presentations or maybe addressing a group of people formally at your workplace, at your school, at your college. And in a presentation, you need to have a PPT with you or a visual aid with you or something that actually elucidates or demonstrates your topic. The third one, ladies and gentlemen, is a lecture. A lecture basically is a kind of a long presentation wherein a speaker or a lecturer or a presenter teaches something to the audience. And lectures are generally 45 minutes long or 60 minutes long. And these presentations or these long lectures are generally prepared by the speaker himself. So there are three kinds of public speeches or presentations. Number one, a speech. It is either formal in nature or semi formal in nature. The second one is a presentation. All right. It's generally very formal in nature that generally uses a PowerPoint presentation. And the third one is a lecture. A lecture is a long presentation, probably 45 minutes long or a 60 minutes long presentation, wherein you have to have visual aids, you need to have your teaching aids, and there's one more thing that actually uh, is something to remember, something worth remembering, and that is Q&A. A presentation is generally followed by a Q&A, and even a lecture is generally followed by a Q&A. And you can also have some interruptions from your participants or your students here and there during the course of the lecture. Now, a TEDx talk or a TED talk, ladies and gentlemen, is a kind of a presentation. But your TED talk or TEDx talk needs to be simple and concise. Concise meaning precise to the point. You also need to have a visual aid or a PPT with you, and the PPT has to be a high quality PPT. You need to have appealing visuals, you need to have high quality pictures, images in your PPT, and your PPT has to be short and crisp. You can't have probably 20, 30 slides for a simple topic. You need to have at least 10 to 12 slides with you with minimal content and visually appealing presentations. In fact, a TEDx talk can be anywhere between 5 minutes to 17 minutes long, and therefore it is categorized as a presentation. Now, coupled with this, my dear participants, I would like you to know that there are different types of TED Talks. It could be a simple talk, you talk about some small ideas. It could be a big idea talk. It could be a scientific demonstration talk. It could be a dazzling scientific wonder talk. It would simply be a performance. So there are different categories of TED Talks, which we'll talk about in future. But as of now, please remember there are different categories of public speeches, and TED Talk happens to be one of them, a unique category. It is a kind of a presentation, a formal presentation you deliver, but it's also very personal in nature because you're sharing something from your life, maybe your personal anecdote, or maybe you're sharing your mantras, something you are passionate about, something that you are knowledgeable about. So a TEDx talk is very personal or subjective in nature. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome all of you once again. As you all know, we go live from Monday to Friday, 7:15 p.m. IST, and in the 45 minutes long episode, I walk you through some simple yet potent ideas on TED Talk, on TEDx Talk. Coupled with this, we also present to you theme-based content so that things are very comprehensive, crisp, and concise for you. Digestible information, tidbits of information is shared with you so that you're able to understand, comprehend, and eventually implement them in your conversation or communication game. So, our aim is to serve you with the best of ideas on TED Talks and communication skills. Let's get started, boys and girls. As you see on the screen, the episode is called How to Deliver a Great TEDx Talk and Eventually Dazzle Your Audience with Your Oratory Style. Not just your oratory, also the ideas that you have. So basically, your content is also the crown. So you need to be mindful and intentional about the content you're sharing with your audience. Now, what exactly do we have in store for you, boys and girls? So, as you see on the screen right now, we will be embarking upon the episode with an icebreaker, followed by some fundamentals of a TED Talk. We'll be discussing the three fundamentals, and then we have some games like Who Said This, Fastest Fingers. I'm going to ask you some questions at the end. I'm going to present to you a summary of the whole episode. And cherry on the cake, I'm going to give you some expert tips, some words to add to your vocabulary, and a video recommendation at the end so that you know exactly what to watch at the end of the episode. Now, let's begin with some icebreakers and get to know each other better, ladies and gentlemen. My only request to all of you is to be a little more active. I would appreciate your comments in the comment section. We're live on Facebook as well as YouTube right now. So please be proactive and do share your comments and opinions in the chat box. I have an eye on your comments. Moving on, what do you like the most about technology? Well, if I get to answer this question, I would say convenience, because we all know how technology has made our lives so convenient and proficient at probably every walk, at every aspect. What do you like about technology? Anyone? Let's see what you've got to say. Can we have your comments, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section? All right, okay. Some of you say the power of connection. Absolutely. Some of us believe that technology has actually strengthened human bond. Absolutely. Move on. Let's move on to the second question. What do you dislike most about technology? All right, I would say it gets distracting sometimes. As human beings, we don't know where to draw a line and we go overboard, especially in terms of usage, in terms of screen times. That's something I would say I dislike about technology. But as they say, technology is a double edged sword and it's totally in your hands how you actually capitalize on it and how do you make use of it, right? And I'm sure you agree with that. All right, boys and girls, moving on to the three fundamentals of a TEDx talk. The first one is a strong opening, meaning how you begin your talk. And as you all know, yesterday we dealt with a strong opening. We talked about the new topic, that is the revolution of technology, and we discussed about the first pillar, the first fundamental, that is a strong opening. How do you begin on a very powerful, influential, and audience friendly note? The second pillar, boys and girls, is the big purpose. The big purpose is the importance of the topic. That's the second fundamental. And the third fundamental is a personal touch, meaning incorporating your personal experiences to make it a wholesome experience for your audience and eventually strike a chord with them. In today's episode, boys and girls, we know that we are dealing with a very exciting and also a challenging topic, that is the technological revolution or the revolution of technology. So, before we embark upon today's theme or agenda, let me tell you what exactly is meant by the revolution of technology. So, as you see on the screen right now, a technological revolution is basically a period in which one or more technologies are replaced by another. Novel technology in a short amount of time. It is an era of accelerated technological progress characterized by new innovations whose rapid application and diffusion typically cause, abrupt change in society. One of the defining features of this new era is the rapid pace of technological change. It is so fast that people are even referring to it as a technological revolution. This revolution is unlike any previous one in history, and it will affect all of us in ways we cannot even begin to imagine. Wow, that's enormous, that's prodigious, and also unprecedented, right? Moving on, my dear participants, in today's episode, we will be discussing at length about the big purpose, that is, the significance of this topic. So, when you're designing your TED talk, remember you start with a strong opening wherein you have to incorporate a quote, then some positive or catchy lines. You have to raise relevant questions. You have to introduce the topic in lucid language. You have to also ensure that you incorporate some fun, fascinating facts. That is the opening. Now, the next part of your talk, of your script, will be the importance. And in this episode, I'm going to walk you through a plethora of examples that will help you understand how to use a big purpose while designing or crafting your TED talk. All right. Moving on, let's talk about why do we need a big purpose? Why should you incorporate the significance of a topic or the importance of a topic in your talk, boys and girls? Let's talk about that in detail. So I'm going to give you two major reasons as to why you need to have a big purpose, no matter what the topic is. We've seen how we incorporate a big purpose in every topic, in every theme, in every subject earlier, right? Be it Olympics, be it climate crisis, be it social media, be it determination, be it kindness, be it humanity. We've discussed about the big purpose and personal touch absolutely in every episode, in every topic, right? And therefore, let's try experimenting or exploring this theme as well. So, the reason why you need to have a big purpose, ladies and gentlemen, is because it helps you emphasize on a particular topic. You emphasize on a particular topic and you tell your audience why it's significant, why it's game changing, and you also bring their attention. Sometimes the audience is oblivious of the topic or the significance of the topic. And as a speaker who's taking the center stage, it is your responsibility. The onus lies on your shoulders to actually familiarize your audience with the agenda and also the significance of it. The next one, boys and girls, is that you are able to bring immediate attention of your audience on the relevance of the topic. You make the topic very relevant to them by sharing the significance, and you bring the attention of your audience to the topic, and you are able to engage with the audience on a productive and prolific note. So please remember, incorporating a big purpose is significant for these many reasons. Now, let's talk about the three essentials of a big purpose. Now, if you really want to incorporate a big purpose, what are the three things you need to incorporate? Three essentials or three must haves. Number one, boys and girls, is what we call the importance of the topic. You need to know the importance of the topic and you need to incorporate the importance of the topic from diverse dimensions. Number two, you break down the topic into multiple aspects. So you try discovering or unraveling or exploring different dimensions and you try mentioning them. I would suggest maximum three different points to be mentioned under breaking down of the topic. Breaking down basically means different dimensions. You branch off the topic. No matter what the topic is, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, you have to branch it off, and share diverse opinions, points, reasons, illustrations, elucidations based on the topic that you're given. The third one is bringing it all together. Make sure that after you break it down, you bring it together at the end in form of a summary or in form of some takeaways or in form of a solution or in form of a resolution. So you bring it all together by the end of your talk. Now, let's talk about the first part, the first essential right now. And what's the first essential? The first essential is importance of the topic. The topic we're dealing with today is called revolution of technology. All right, and we're dealing with the second fundamental, that is a big purpose. Let me give you a plethora of examples to understand this. How do you highlight the importance of the topic technological revolution? Let's cast a glance at this. Technology brings skills, knowledge, process, technique, and tools together for solving problems of human beings, making their lives secure and easier. Why technology is important is because technology is the driving force of the world. and it makes the world a better place to live in. Continuing with the same, as in 21st century, we are bound with technology in our day-to-day activities. Due to this, the businesses and industries are spreading globally, even though they are getting in operation efficiently with ease. The education and communication systems are becoming more advanced. Softwares like Byju's, Vedantu, Zoom, Skype, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft, Teams, Google Meet are changing styles of study and communication. There are so many reasons showing the importance of technology in human life, especially in this era of pandemic. Technology helps us reduce the time required to do daily work, like we can order food online by using apps on mobile. It is one of the greatest things that no human being can live without. It is becoming an integral part of human life right now. We are all surrounded by technology in all, in our lives almost every day, from morning alarm to the switch off the night at light the light at night. We are habitual to it. Due to this, ladies and gentlemen, humans feel more secured in their lives, in their day-to-day activities, both in their personal sphere, as well as the corporate sphere. So somehow, what you do, boys and girls, you try highlighting the significance of the topic from different dimensions. Here we talk about how human beings are revolving around technology from the time they wake up in the morning till the time they retire to bed. And here we have, a very copious description of the same. Moving on, let me give you an expert tip, boys and girls. Let's understand that technology has actually turned our lives into a very different yet positive journey. We are more advanced and developed today than we've ever been. Although there are negative aspects as well, but if used under surveillance and check, this technology can definitely be a boon for us than a curse. A word to quickly add to your vocabulary: revolution. What's the word, boys and girls? Revolution. Now, what's the meaning of revolution? It's basically a forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favor of a new system. In other words, revolving or a revolution can also be described as a replacement, of a social order. So, revolution, when I talk about revolution in terms of technology, it's about the rapid progression, the rapid progress, the rapid advancement that is absolutely unprecedented, unpredictable, and unimaginable by a human being. Let me give you an example right now. Usage: the country had a socialist revolution. Right? So, this is an example of revolution. You can add this word to your vocabulary, it's a powerful one. Moving on to who said this. That's a game that we play every day in every episode, wherein we promote the power of quotes, right? The third person technique, and how quoting someone on the topic given, relevantly, of course, can actually give you a lot of mileage in your influence as a speaker. The first one is: technology is best when it brings people together. Technology is best when it brings people together. That's a popular quote, ladies and gentlemen, by Matt Mullingweg. All right, what's the quote? Technology is best when it brings people together. So, technology is being compared to a uniting force for the society, for people. The second quote here for you, boys and girls: the science of today is the technology of tomorrow. The science of today is the technology of tomorrow. That's again a very interesting and witty quote by Edward Teller. Let's move on to the third one, ladies and gentlemen. One machine can do the work of 50 ordinary men, but no machine can do the work of one extraordinary man. Well, that's a quote by Albert Hubbard. Beautiful, powerful, also highlights the limitation of technology sometimes when it comes to human intelligence and caliber. Okay, boys and girls, moving on to the second pillar, the second essential, or the second element of a big purpose. It's called the breaking down of the topic. Now, how do we break it down? Remember two things here, please. Number one, you have to put on your thinking cap and think of at least two or three different dimensions, and then use them, highlight them, And please remember, ladies and gentlemen, you need to elaborate each dimension. You can't just mention that I'm going to talk about power of technology and pros and cons of technology. You need to throw light on these dimensions, these pointers, and do justice to them. All right. For example, the first one, power of technology, and then pros and cons. So you can talk about the revolution of technology to begin with. You can also have something like effects of technology, power of technology, pros and cons of technology. So remember, breaking down basically is branching off. So two branching off here, two branches, can be created. Effects of technology, power of technology. Under effects, pros and cons, right? Do's and don'ts, good and bad, merits and demerits. And the other one can be the power, or rather the impact of technology. So let's deal with them one by one. First of all, we'll start with power or impact of technology. For example, technology is powerful. It can provide endless opportunities and allow you to connect in ways you never imagined. Consider how you're using technology today and just imagine where it will take you in the future. The advent and increasing adoption of emerging technologies, just cloud, cognitive, security, and blockchain, have taken us far closer to the utopian world of science fiction that we never imagined. Today, digital disruption is creating new business models, redefining user experiences, and also shaping ecosystems of the future. Coupled with this, ladies and gentlemen, throughout 2017, we have witnessed significant progress in terms of real life implementation of new technologies for digital transformation. We are in the midst of shaping the future as these technologies are enabling new possibilities that have the potential to transform the world. Continuing with the same theme, the power of technology can actually make people feel fantastic, but it can silently permeate and change people's life at the same time. When we marvel achievements of technology, it appears all around us, from the initial curiosity through to accustomed, you know, until the last inseparable. Traditional interpretation of technology seems to basically get closer to productivity, people seeking creation on development. However, in modern life, my dear participants, people feel more about what influence is. Technology is optimizing and even subverting essential characteristics of hardware. Let us get to know about these new cognitions and habits of use. For example, we can talk about the effects. All right. For example, when we are trying to probably throw more light on it, you can give examples of effects of technology here. Okay. In effects, you'll have pros and cons, but let's introduce effects first. So you can say simply that at one point, being able to create fire was cutting edge technology. We've come a long way in a relatively very, very short time thanks to innovative ways we have used technology over the generations. Technology certainly makes life better, but it can also be a hindrance to our daily routines. Modern technology can be addictive. The average smartphone owner checks their phone almost 100 times throughout the day. We have come to a point where we rely on technology sometimes more than our own ingenuity, right? I'm sure you'll give a thumbs up to it because you agree. Now, some pros and cons of technology. Let's quickly cast a glance. The first pros, it allows us to experience new culture. Technology has actually allowed the planet to become a smaller place. Over the course of a day, it is possible to travel to the other side of the world to see new countries, new cultures, and new opportunities. Number one, pros. The second pro, it provides us with deeper insights. For example, technology collects massive amounts of data that can be mined for numerous insights and benefits. These analytics basically allow us to pinpoint specific weak points that can be turned into strengths. Not just that, ladies and gentlemen, it can identify new business opportunities, create new learning opportunities, and help people discover new facts and also new facets about themselves so that they can achieve more than ever before, right? So that's the second pro of technology and its revolution. Now we'll move on to the third one, ladies and gentlemen, and it says it improves profits. For example, new technologies are always expensive, but that's because they create more profits. It is possible today, basically through technology, for a sole proprietor to run a global business from their garage or home office. In fact, new technologies have created platforms where freelancers and independent professionals can make more on their own than if they worked for a traditional employer. Technology can even improve the efficiency of delivery and distribution mechanisms, which can also improve profits. Right, that's the third pro. Now you can gradually move on to the next one, which is it makes research become very simple. Today, technologies of the data access makes it possible to find out absolutely anything at almost any time. Want to know where your leg is hurting? Need to order some food for dinner? Want to book a vacation? Can't remember the name of the movie, but you remember who starred in it? Technology makes it so easy for us to research and purchase and discover what we want to what we need or what we want almost on a regular basis. Coupled with this, boys and girls, it also saves time. If a worker is able to save 10 minutes of time because of technology, that's an extra 10 minutes they can do something productive with. We can save so much time using technology with improved communication, improved manufacturing, and also you can see improved processes and automated systems, right? That's the power of technology and the enormity of technology. Now we can gradually move on to some cons. Cons are the negative effects. So, number one, as you see on the screen right now, it can be powerfully destructive. Technology can be good or evil based on how we use it. Innovation has led to incredible destruction, world altering weapons with atomic, nuclear, and hydrogen bombs. Similarly, you can also say that hackers can actually use the internet to steal personal information. We all know in September 2017, more than 143 million users were affected by a single data breach at Equifax. In fact, if humanity were to ever become extinct, there is a good chance that technology would prove which actually will provide a very, very needed assist. What an irony. All right, let's move on to the next part here. Consistently, technology can lead to hand, wrist, and forearm pain, leading to social isolation and may even be a contributing factor to the formation of depression like symptoms, ladies and gentlemen. We can also talk about the fact that if you really want to find a lot about personal information about someone, technology of the internet actually can serve your needs quite effectively. A website like Dirt Search allows you to enter a phone number and look up a business or find a person simply using public records. Apart from this, boys and girls, crawlers can actually put all of your social media feeds onto one page for someone to review everything you've ever posted. Then consider cameras and CCTV in most public locations, and it's possible to track a person's every movement online and also in real life. And that's scarier, inconvenient, but the truth. Now, one more word to add to your vocabulary, hacker. A hacker basically is a person who uses computers to gain unauthorized access to your data. Let me give you a sentence here. The police arrested the hacker who was involved in bank heist. Let's quickly have the fastest fingers first, boys and girls. Is hacking considered as illegal? What do you think? Oh, well, it's not illegal. It's basically illegal, but we also have ethical hacking that people are learning these days. So, well, that could be either a yes or a no. Moving on to the next question, my dear participants, should we actually use phones for 10 hours at least? Oh God, that's a big no no because we know how screen time can be detrimental to overall health and well being. Oh, well, the last segment now. How do you bring it all together? It all means summarizing your points, and that's the easiest part actually. Summarizing simply means you tell your audience that today we discussed about the importance, the value, the effects of technology, its pros and cons basically, and the need of our generation. So we talked about the revolution of Gen Z, that is revolution of technology, and how it's actually gaining momentum and how our day-to-day lives actually rely completely on technology. So you present to your audience a summary, a gist of whatever you've talked about. That's the end of the big purpose here. Let me ask you some questions, boys and girls, to see if you actually grasp the topic really well. Who developed YouTube? Yes, anyone? Can we have your comments in the comment section? Who developed YouTube? Oh, well, I see some of the comments. You say option C, and you're absolutely slightly incorrect because the correct answer here is Jen, Hurley, and Kareem. Okay, this trio that developed YouTube. Let's move on to the next question, which the following is used for interacting with people from around the globe. We all know the correct answer here is the social media sites, right? Now, boys and girls, the cherry on the cake. I'm going to share with you a video recommendation that I think you all should watch because this TEDx video will actually give you a gist of what we've talked about in today's episode. And here we go. The name of the video is Motivation versus Determination. Please do cast a glance. The link is given right in the description box on YouTube as well as Facebook. So, in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, in today's episode, we talked about the big purpose, the second fundamental of a TEDx talk, and we discussed actually about the three essentials of a big purpose, emphasizing on the topic, breaking down the topic, and also bringing it all together at the end. We have a small project work for you, all for you boys and girls. Please decide a definite time frame for using internet. Try minimizing your works and adhere to certain guidelines published at various social networking sites. Tell your siblings and friends about it. Try reducing your screen time so that you can gain more mileage in life and you can actually capitalize on the real opportunities that you have around you. That you improve your personal life, professional life, mental well being, social well being, and your overall development. So, in tomorrow's episode, my dear participants, I'm going to catch you live at 17 p.m. and we will be discussing about a personal touch. All right. The topic will be the same, that is the revolution of technology. And we will be in particular discussing a personal touch, how to incorporate your personal experiences to make your talk a roaring success. So, participants, thank you so much for joining in today. I am so grateful to all of you. Please stay tuned with me. Do join me tomorrow at 10:15. Do inform your friends about it. And together, we will actually help you learn public speaking and make it your number one skill set. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining in. Let's meet tomorrow. Till then, please take care, stay well, and make sure that you are amping up your communication skills every day at every given opportunity. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much, boys and girls.